So we are going to be giving the 5 oldest killers of Dead by Daylight a secondary ability. The majority of newer killers have multiple abilities, like the Dredge, for example, who can teleport, he has the Remnant for anti-looping, and he has the passive Nightfall ability. And then of course you have the Xenomorph, who can crawl through tunnels, has the runner mode ability, and his tail strike attack. So we're going to be giving some of the older killers who need a little bit more help secondary abilities to make things a little bit more interesting. So let's hop right into it. Up first we have the Trapper, and his secondary ability, the Trap Toss. This would allow him to throw an armed bear trap up to 3 meters while on the move without any slowdown. This ability would have a 45-second cooldown, and I feel would actually make him way better than he is now. You could give it a very obvious audio cue for survivors who are close, so that way they know he trapped the loop. And being able to trap a loop on the fly without losing any distance on a survivor would be a huge plus for Trapper, and would probably bump him up from F tier to D tier. And of course he wouldn't get his 5% haste when he used the Trap Toss. Up next is the Wraith and his secondary ability, Blind Spot, which would allow him to turn pallets invisible. Survivors would still be able to drop invisible pallets, and the pallets would have the same shimmer that the Wraith does when he's close to them, except the pallets would always have that shimmer no matter the distance. This could be really solid, as it could confuse survivors on darker maps or who are just further away in general and trick them into thinking it was a dead zone that they were running into. You could also give this a significant cooldown depending on how strong it would end up being. I really don't think it would make him that much stronger, but who knows. After that we have Billy and his secondary ability, Huge Swing. Creative, I know. This would allow Billy to cancel his chainsaw sprint into an M1 with a huge coup style swing. This would help with scenarios where you just barely miss the survivor with the chainsaw sprint, allowing you to cancel the chainsaw sprint in 180 and hit them with your hammer. This would help with scenarios where you just barely miss the survivor with the chainsaw sprint, allowing you to cancel the chainsaw sprint 180 and hit them with an M1. Of course, not being an insta down, but still allowing you to hit the survivor. I think this would make them a lot better to play, and it also wouldn't be unfair for survivors since they didn't get insta-downed, and they also still get their speed boost, but you also as a killer still gets an injury state instead of absolutely nothing. So next up we have the Huntress with her secondary ability, Slash Step. When the Huntress is holding her hatchet, she has the ability to dash forward 6 meters swinging her hatchet and injuring any survivor in the fan-shaped hitbox area. This is to counter what survivors normally do to counter the Huntress, like running to shack constantly, or double window tiles, or just getting as close to the Huntress as possible to try and FOV tech her when caught in a dead zone. Obviously a significant cooldown on this ability as well, but would only have a 2-second recovery time before being able to throw a hatchet. And lastly we have Mikey with his secondary ability, Think Twice. This is probably my favorite secondary ability out of all of them, because I think it's really thematic. When Michael Myers is in tier 2 or tier 3, he gains the ability to catch a pallet. This happens automatically when the ability is off cooldown, but essentially in any case where Mikey were to be stunned by a pallet, instead he puts out his hand and stops the pallet from coming down at all, and swings through the pallet. The cooldown on it would obviously have to be huge since it could guarantee an instant down hit in tier 3. Pallets is definitely the thing Mikey struggles with most, and I think this would help him out an insane amount and would definitely make survivors think twice before dropping a pallet. Also, to prevent survivors from just pre-dropping every pallet on the map, he can also use that secondary ability to break a downed pallet in 1/4 the normal speed. Obviously that puts his ability on cooldown. Alright, so that was a quick one. 5 secondary abilities for the 5 oldest killers in the game who don't have one. Let me know what you guys think of these abilities, and if you think any of these would be too OP or worthless, like race invisible pallets. But yeah, thanks for watching.